Support Wrestle Talk!
So last week, I took a day off. On the day I was supposed to voice over this list, and salty old Pete decided to celebrate my absence by comparing me to Roman Reigns. Now I know what you're thinking, this is the bit where I fire back and get you to bomb Pete's Twitter comparing him to, I don't know, a Diglett. But I'm not going to do that. If you wanted to contact Pete on Twitter, Pete Quinnell, and send him a picture of a Diglett with the caption, always nice to see Pete Quinnell getting out of the house, then I can't stop you, but I'm certainly not telling you to do that because I'm above this sort of one-upsmanship. I'm Adam from Wrestle Talk, and here are this week's 10 wrestling news stories you might have missed. Number 1, Andrade agrees with AEW criticism. Triple H is in power, saints be praised, so this week's social media activity has been quite interesting to say the least. Earlier this week, former TNT champion Miro liked a tweet suggesting he was better off in WWE, and it seems like the Redeemer is not the only AEW talent with previous success in the Big Dub who feels this way. Andrade El Idolo arrived in All Elite Wrestling back in May 2021 and has gone through several different managers and groups in the last 15 months. As a form of commentary on his AEW career so far, Andrade liked the following tweet. This tweet right here, the one that's currently on screen. I'm not going to read it aloud for you. I'm not your dad. Number 2, Johnny Gargano WWE return. It's not just AEW stars. There are a litany of free agents whom people have been speculating about in the game era of WWE. At the top of many fans' wish lists for returns is Johnny Gargano. A new report from Fightful Select has provided an update on Johnny Wrestling, noting that NXT head honcho Shawn Michaels was tasked with reaching out to Gargano shortly after the change in management. No details were provided on how the conversation went, but obviously Gargano didn't show up for Raw in his hometown of Cleveland last Monday. We did get his former son-in-law Dexter Lumis in a pretty cool angle though. This has to be considered a step in the right direction. Number 3, Rock vs Reigns, still the plan. At the time of this video, Roman Reigns is still reigning as undisputed WWE Universal Champion, with tickets now on sale for WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood and all the changes behind the scenes in WWE. Don't know if you caught that news. Fans may be wondering if plans are still set for the much-hyped main event between the Tribal Chief and the People's Champion that's been in talks for coming up on 2 years now. According to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, the plan is indeed for the bout to headline the Showcase of the Immortals. Meltzer stated, "It's the plan. It's 100% the plan for this year. But the idea is, it's the plan if The Rock can do it." We're still months away, months and months away. So many opportunities and things like that may come up that are far more important than WrestleMania. What could be more important than WrestleMania? Number 4, when Sasha Banks and Naomi agreed to return to WWE. Since Vince McMahon's retirement and Triple H assuming creative duties, the likelihood of Sasha Banks and Naomi returning to WWE has drastic go up. Last week, it was reported that the former tag team champions had agreed to come back following their walkout in May. Dave Meltzer spoke about the situation on the Sunday Night's Main Event podcast, stating an agreement for Sasha and Naomi's return was reached over a week ago. Meltzer said, "A week ago, I was told they're back. Could be tomorrow, could be in a couple of weeks. It's whatever day they want." Number 5, Stu Grayson's weird statistic. AEW has experienced plenty of changes in a real roller coaster of a third year, with several big signings, but also several contracts expiring and day one talent departing the company. One of the most shocking names to leave was Dark Order member Stu Grayson, who left the promotion in May after failing to reach a new agreement. In a new interview with Slam Wrestling, Grayson discussed his time in AEW and noted a weird statistic, how he never had a single singles match on AEW television, saying, "Kenny Omega has tried to work with me since forever. In 13 years, I had like 13 matches, something like that. It's very hard to show the world how good you are in such a limited amount of time. I would trade in 100 dark matches for 15 minutes on television." Number 6, Bray Wyatt addresses return speculation. In yet another big star who could be returning to WWE story, The Fiend / Bray Wyatt / Wyndham Rotunda got the wrestling world talking again via social media. After his not meant to be cryptic tweet that we addressed earlier this week, the former WWE Universal Champion clown had a few replies to fans who suggested that it might be a clue to where he's heading next. In one reply, Wyatt stated, "It's not meant to be cryptic, it's a reminder to myself and others that need reminding just how special this business is and how lucky we are to have it. Put your microscope and biases aside and read it again. #doo-doo." In a follow-up tweet arguing that it's not his fault that everyone examines every post he shares, Bray said, "Nor is it meant to be, just a feeling I wrote down. It's not my fault every time I say something, everyone grades me like a middle school English teacher. See the forest for the trees, man." Or as Bray Wyatt would probably have said, "Open that one red eye, man, the one inside, to look within and find the worlds you're meant to burn." Or some such stuff. Number 7, MJF rumors reignite. Speaking of burning, MJF has been a name that has forged many headlines throughout 2022 after a roller coaster Double or Nothing weekend. Maxwell Jacob Friedman cut a scathing pipe bomb promo on the June 1st edition of Dynamite, where he told Tony Khan to fire him after reports of him being upset with his pay in AEW. Since that promo, there's been radio silence from Friedman himself, as well as All Elite Wrestling, with the company even erasing him from their digital footprint and not mentioning the star on TV. However, another top AEW star, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, has caused further speculation with a social media post. On her Instagram story, Baker posted a photo of herself and MJF from 2020, causing fans to speculate that either his return may be imminent or that Britt Baker shares some of Maxwell's discontent. Whatever the meaning, consider as worked. Number 8, Ric Flair passed out twice in last match. Ric Flair's last match, trademarked during StarCast 5 weekend, was polarizing to say the least. Some fans thought it was a fun spectacle that allowed a legend to go out on his terms, while others thought it was a dangerous money grab that diminished the Nature Boy's legacy. I didn't watch it myself because I don't care. Everyone was generally happy that the 73-year-old survived his final match though, but a lot of people were worried about him when he told his son-in-law Andrade that he passed out after the contest. Apparently, Flair passed out more than once, according to his own account, saying, "I don't think people realized I passed out twice." After explaining he was getting dehydrated due to his own regimen prior to the bout and wanting to be at his ideal weight ahead of it, Flair went on to explain, "I'm sure a lot of it was nerves as well." Andrade came over and said, "Your turn, sir, your turn, sir, your turn, sir," and so I got in, but I didn't know where we were in the match because I'd missed about, clearly, like 10 seconds of it. That's scary stuff. I'm glad Ric Flair's okay. Number 9, Tatum Paxley provides injury update. The injury bug in wrestling hasn't discriminated against any promotion, with WWE, AEW, New Japan, and others feeling the brunt. During the August 6th NXT house show in Gainesville, Florida, 2.0 star Tatum Paxley was the latest to suffer an injury in her match with Sloane Jacobs, resulting in the bout being stopped after Paxley was kicked in the face and her chin struck the ring post. Tatum provided a positive update on her condition on Twitter, saying, "Thank you everyone for reaching out and checking in. I'll be okay. Accidents like these happen all the time in what we do, plus getting blood everywhere is super heavy metal." And it is, to be fair. I asked Luke Owen, and he knows the most about metal, and he said it was, and I'm quoting him here, "rad cool super dude." And number 10, Kevin Nash isn't tempted by Saudi money. Following up from our last two entries, someone who is familiar with both Ric Flair and injuries is WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash. Big Sexy is also familiar with a good old payday after being one of the first wrestling stars in history to secure a guaranteed contract. On his Click This podcast, the once and future Diesel discussed Ric Flair's last match, trademark, and was asked if he would consider wrestling again, which the legend emphatically shot down, even if WWE offered ridiculous levels of money. In regards to wanting one final match, Nash said, "No, I don't. The thought of my rickety ass body hitting that wood, like, nah man, and not even for Saudi money. You come with me, the $500,000, let me take 2 bumps, you. What am I going to do with that? Let me put that in the bank with the rest of my money I don't spend." Genuinely refreshing to hear that. Here's us raising a glass of reasonably priced red wine to you, Big Daddy Cool. And that's our list. What's your favorite bit of wrestling news from this week? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to WrestleTalk for daily wrestling news, and make WrestleTalk.com your homepage for up-to-the-minute wrestling news. I'm Adam from WrestleTalk, and never forget to jam that jam.